Well, it looks like we've got everyone here with us, so we'll get started with the session. Our apologies, we're starting a little bit after 1 o'clock today. We just had a few little IT challenges that we've sorted out. So good afternoon to our career advisors, parents, guardians, students, presenters and guests. On behalf of the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales, the Department of Education and Training Services New South Wales, I'd like to welcome you all to our Real Estate Information Session for Western New South Wales. My name is Marika Walker and I'm the Executive Assistant to the CEO of the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales. I would like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to the land, sea and community in which we work, learn and meet on. We acknowledge the traditional people of the local nations we are joining from today and pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today. We have some fantastic presenters with us this afternoon to share their insights into how traineeships can give students a head start in the dynamic real estate industry. I'm very pleased to introduce Andrew Palmer from the Property Shop, Jackie Spencer from the New South Wales Department of Education, Eva Aliferis and Angelina Tupi Messina from the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales, which we'll refer to as REI New South Wales to make it a bit easier, and Jackie Smith from Training Services New South Wales. Now, before we begin with our first presenter, I'd just like to ask all those attending to please keep their cameras off and microphones on mute. As we only have half an hour today, we won't have an opportunity for questions to be answered. However, we do have a chat box, so please feel free to submit your questions and we will include them with an FAQ we'll give you in the next few weeks. A recording of today's session and a link to submit any questions you would like us to answer personally will be emailed to all of you by Friday. And now for our first presenter, Andrew Palmer, Director and Licensee in charge of the Property Shop in Mudgee and Director on the board of the REI New South Wales. In addition to taking a leadership and strategic role in the Property Shop, Andrew has a strong sense of community and service and is active in many local organisations, charities and sporting groups in the Mudgee region. Welcome, Andrew.
Welcome, so lovely. Hi, Marika. How are you? Hello, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, Andrew. To start with, could you give us an idea of how you started in this industry and a brief overview of your real estate career journey?
Yeah, absolutely, Marika. In fact, I started as a trainee salesman all the way back in 1988, and I started in the business that I now own. So I've gone a full circle. I have to say I didn't stay there the whole way through my career, and in fact, my initial traineeship, I moved from a trainee salesperson into a standalone salesperson back then, and worked my way there. I think I was there for sort of a bit over 5 years before I sort of moved down to Sydney into different industries and had a career in a few different industries before I came back to real estate many years later.
Fantastic. And so with the time that you've been in the industry, what would you say are some of the most rewarding and challenging aspects of working in real estate?
Oh, look, I think, and probably just to finish off before, one of the important things that the skills I got when I first started in the industry served me very, very well when I moved into other roles and other industries. And then obviously those skills I developed then have helped me when I've come back into real estate. But by far the most rewarding thing is obviously the opportunity to assist people with what is a substantial transaction if they're buying a property, but certainly something that obviously we're dealing with people in their homes, and it's a critical part of their life. So being able to assist and help people find comfortable, secure places to live have to be one of the most rewarding. Probably the most challenging on the same sort of vein is obviously dealing with the public in a fairly emotional transaction for them. It's not always easy. It's not always happy endings for everybody, but I think the important thing is if you deal with people transparently and honestly, most people, even if they don't get the outcome they want, understand and respect the process.
And I think that's a very good thing for people coming into the industry to be aware of as well, that it really is about people property just happens to be that huge item that they do have that emotional attachment to that you mentioned. Andrew, you spoke about briefly before about the skills and qualities that you were able to also apply to other industries that you learnt through real estate. Could you tell us a bit more about those skills and qualities and that you believe are essential for someone to succeed in real estate, especially for those just starting out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think foremost is communication, those skills of being able to communicate with people of all different parts of societies and both up and down. So people sort of, I guess, if you're within a bigger corporation or you're dealing with different types of people, being able to communicate effectively with people from all different walks of life. And I think that's probably the primary skill. I think then there's also that importance of being able to follow through and effectively do what you or not promise what you can't do, and certainly do what you promise.
It's a very good way to summarize it, Andrew.
Mm.
So, taking all those skills, what are some of the roles and careers available in real estate that you can apply those to?
Look, and I think since I started all the way back in 1988, I think the industry's broadened in terms of number of roles that are within a business, and I think it's only getting better within our own business. We have, residential property management, we have residential sales, we have different ways into those processes, into those parts of our business. We've got our administrative side of the business. We've also got our commercial and strata areas of our business. So we have commercial and sales and property management. We have a strata business, and we also have a rural sales business as well. So lots of different parts of property there, a lot of different roles within that. We now have junior people come in each of those roles where you can actually start, and we've been able to start trainees at reception, for example, which is, again, a very important role in our business. It's a critical role in our business, but they've started in reception and now are in senior property management roles or in roles that are sales related or in different admin roles.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think sometimes people just see the property manager and the salesperson and not necessarily all the different roles that are really essential for an agency to be successful. So thank you very much for sharing that, Andrew. We'll come back to you a bit later to get a little bit more into the grid of things. In the meantime, I'm going to move on to our second presenter, Jackie Spencer, the dedicated school-based apprenticeships and traineeships specialist program officer, with over 15 years experience in the SBAT program in New South Wales that currently encompasses almost 3,000 SBATs across more than 500 schools statewide. Jackie has a passion for fostering practical learning experiences that provide students with valuable opportunities and pathways. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you very, very much for the introduction, and it's a privilege to be involved today. Andrew, I love the passion and the drive that you have within the area. The opportunity you have for young learners within the industry is amazing. And probably a little bit of a backstory. My son is a stock and station agent / real estate agent. So I do have a little bit of experience there, and they do have a passion and drive and a love of talking is what I'll say. Today, I just want to give you an overview of the actual SBAT program in New South Wales, which allows high school students to start an apprenticeship or a traineeship whilst completing their HSC. Students undertake a part-time paid work, and I think we've got to clear that it's actual paid work and part-time training, earning a nationally recognised qualification alongside their school studies. The program is designed to provide the practical work experience and the skills relevant to the actual industry. The actual qualification I'm going to discuss today is the school-based traineeship in Certificate 3 in Real Estate Practice. Now, that aims to provide skills and knowledge appropriate for young people working in the real estate and the strata management industry as agency, property officers, and operatives in supporting roles. Now, key benefits of the actual program for the SBAT program for students, one is the practical students. Students are gaining hands-on experience of their chosen field, making them job ready by the time they finish high school. They're earning while they're learning. Students are getting paid for their work, and it's part-time pocket money for them while they're actually doing valuable work. The qualification is what they come out, that national recognised qualification, which enhances their employability at the end of their HSCU pattern of study. The career pathways, the program helps the students make informed career choices and provides a pathway for further education and employment. It develops their skills, both their technical skills specific to their trade and also their soft skills, such as their time management and teamwork. One other part that is very critical for a benefit of a school-based program is work experience. This allows the students to explore pathways within the industry. Work experience is a vital part of the students' educational journey, providing them with the skills and the knowledge and the insight needed to successfully choose their future careers. The other thing I would like to touch on today is that the Certificate 3 in Real Estate Practice credit units towards their HSC. So this is done within their HSC, not on top of their HSC, but it is a non-ATAR pathway for careers advisors on the call today. A few of the commitment requirements for the qualification and the school-based traineeship is that they must undertake a minimum of 100 days in the paid employment and training. They undertake the Certificate 3 in the real estate practice as part of their HSC pattern of study, and the employment and training can be undertaken during school time, after school, or during school holidays to make up those 100 days. At the end of it, the outcome for the actual student is the Certificate 3 in the real estate practices, a career into the actual pathway of property services industries, and the hands-on experience that they'll achieve over the 2 years is unreal. It's amazing. So I think students need to embrace it and grab it with both arms and enjoy it, because it's certainly a pathway where you can go to many chosen fields. So thank you.
Oh, that was a wonderful overview. Thank you so much, Jackie, and thank you for giving those that are either attending today or be listening to the recording later more of an insight into how the SBAT program can help. So thank you. In terms of traineeships in real estate, whether you're a Year 10 student keen to start your career path at school through an SBAT program, or a Year 11 or 12 student looking to enter a traineeship after completing your HSC, there is both coursework to be completed at a registered training organisation like REI New South Wales and practical experience to be completed at a real estate agency. To talk about what to expect from the coursework component is our second presenter, Eva Alaferis, one of the trainers and assessors at REI New South Wales. Eva began as a receptionist in real estate in 1995 and went on to enjoy a 29-year career at Ray White Earlwood, where she was involved in all aspects of the real estate industry. Eva has received numerous awards for excelling in the Ray White network and has been part of our training and assessment team for the past 4 years. Welcome, Eva.
Hi, Marika. Thank you. Thanks for the introduction.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Eva, to start with, could you just let us know that as a real estate trainer, can you please explain how you support SBATs and trainees throughout the training and development process and how you help them to succeed in the real estate industry?
Yep, absolutely. So as a real estate trainer, I support SBATs and trainees through a variety of methods. So we ensure that they have a clear understanding of their learning objectives in order to achieve their goals. Regular one-on-one check-ins are scheduled to monitor their progress and address any issues that they may encounter. We always engage in open communication and provide personalised guidance for everyone. So overall, I aim to support their growth and development positively and effectively. So this includes structured classroom virtual sessions via Zoom, one-on-one assessment help sessions. We also provide access to industry-specific resources, so things like case studies, current market data, and real estate software. Additionally, trainees receive support materials like study guides, learner guides, and other resources. So as a trainer, we provide clear and constructive feedback to help trainees improve throughout their journey and ensure we address any areas of concern. Our learning materials, support programs, and resources are unique, high quality, and easy to follow.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Thanks, Eva. Could you actually share an example of how your training and REI New South Wales support has positively impacted the career of an SBAT or trainee?
Yeah, absolutely. So one notable example is a recent trainee who struggled with the initial stages of their training, but showed significant improvement after receiving targeted support. So through personalised one-on-one sessions via Zoom, over the phone, and additional resources provided by REI New South Wales, the trainee was able to grasp the concepts and apply them effectively in their work. So as a result of this, they not only passed their assessments, but also secured a promotion within their organisation. This success story highlights how tailored support and resources can lead to significant career advancement and greater confidence in one's professional abilities.
Oh, that's so nice to hear, Eva. And it's nice to know that just by reaching out and being able to make those few adjustments to help that student, that they've gone on and it's turned out to be the start of a wonderful career. So thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Absolutely. Thanks, Marika.
We'll now go back to Andrew Palmer. Andrew, you spoke earlier about what a career in real estate looks like. Could you now describe a typical day in the life of a real estate agent?
Sure. I think, Marika, there's no real day that's the same, which is one of the attractive things for a lot of people to the industry. But generally, depending on the part of the industry you're in, it's a lot about connection with people. So if, for example, you're in a property management role, you might be managing maintenance, you might be, which is organising trades, following the communicating to landlords, communicating to tenants to make sure those repairs and so forth are being taken. You might be negotiating a lease term or a rent. Sorry, that's my dog going off in the background. A lease or a rent, a lease term. You might be renewing leases and agreements. If you're in a sales role, you could be listing property, or selling property, negotiating sales. You could be obviously showing people. Often you're spending a lot of time in a situation where you are looking for properties that you sell, or talking to people about listing their property with you. So there's a fair bit of work basically communicating and talking to people on a daily and ongoing basis.
Fantastic. So there's quite a bit there to digest, which is great. But in terms of for the trainees, what should they expect in terms of daily tasks and responsibilities?
As a trainee, generally you're starting in the administrative side of the business and the background of it, so you can learn. Trainees within our business work in a variety of areas. So we have probably my favourite role for a trainee is one that we've just introduced, where they've come into the business as a trainee and they're going to learn everything from front office and administration all the way through to being a trainee in our property management department. They'll do a lot of the administration in the back end of that, but also go out with our property managers and learn their roles. And then she's going to move into our sales department and learn a lot about our sales administration and what happens in the background there, and also attend things like appraisals and open houses and so forth with our sales team. So all of those sorts of things are going to be the day-to-day role of our trainee. I think that's my favourite. We have trainees in specific parts of the business as well, where, for example, they're in our sales department or in our property management department, and they're really focused on those elements of our business. But I think by far the best is the one that's going to get the opportunity to work across the whole business over her traineeship, which will run for a few years.
That sounds very similar to when I worked in hospitality many years ago, and they did likewise that sort of traineeship where someone got a chance to do a bit of everything, and it really helped the trainee to see what they preferred the most and what appealed to them in terms of the career path that they'd like to follow. So I think what you're doing there is fantastic, Andrew.
Yeah.
So I guess you've touched on quite a lot of it, but how, with all these, with it, particularly with this one that you've spoken about where the trainee's doing a bit of everything, how would you suggest they make the most of this on-the-job component element of their traineeship?
Yeah, look, I think, and probably the other element for that, with this role, the person that's actually come into the traineeship is a younger person. So the experience that they haven't come into the business with the experience of perhaps work employment somewhere else. So they are a younger person. They've got the opportunity to really see what happens right across the business so they can choose a path. But I think to make the most of it, ask a lot of questions. Don't assume that what you think is happening is necessarily happening. And if you've got any questions, never be scared to ask. And maybe sometimes you might wait and then ask the question, or debrief afterwards is a good way to do that. So you can have the conversation with the senior person involved, whether it's your direct manager or one of your senior team members, just to talk about what experience you've just been through and what your perception of it was, and also ask some questions about what was actually sort of trying to be achieved or what was happening. So ask lots of questions is probably the best one. Take lots of notes and review it.
Fantastic. Well, that's great advice. I'm actually going to ask you one more question along that advice sort of tangent. In addition to what you've just shared, what advice would you give to trainees interested in pursuing a career in real estate?
I think if it's a great career, you don't start at the top. So there are a lot of activity in the office and a lot of things going on. And sometimes the sales role in particular is that glamorous sort of looking person that's running around and driving a flash car and doing all those sorts of things. There's a lot of hard work to get there. So start at the top, be patient. Real estate is a long-term gain. I tell people in my business it's a marathon, not a sprint. And there are people that come into the industry that have some fairly short-term success because they might be flashy or they might sort of say what they think they need to say to get a deal done. But those that are the most successful are the people that do it the right way. They have a lot of integrity. They understand that it's a long-term gain. And if you want long-term success, you need to take your time.
Andrew, thank you for everything you've shared, and I think you've given some great insights into the industry and for trainees with what they can expect. So thank you very much for sharing that with us today.
No problems, Marika. And the only other thing I'd say is we're lucky in real estate. People are very generous with their time and information. People, very, very good operators out there, are more than happy to help people coming into the industry and help them succeed. Take advantage of that if you're a trainee.
Thank you. And after spending time with Andrew in his role as being on the board with the REI, I can definitely attest to Andrew being one of those sort of people that is there and does share a lot of his time. So thank you again, Andrew, for being with us today.
No problems. Very happy to.
Thank you. So just moving forward, so in addition to the knowledge and experience learners will gain through their traineeship, we are also mindful of providing them with support to assist with studies and the on-the-job training element that Andrew's just discussed. To talk about this further is our fourth presenter, Angelina Tupi-Messina, our Learner Engagement Coordinator at REI New South Wales. After initially working as a Quality Assurance Administration Officer in the transport industry, Angelina transitioned into the education sector, where she has dedicated the past 13 years to learner success. As Learner Engagement Coordinator at the REI New South Wales for the last 9 years, Angelina has remained committed to ensuring that all learners receive the support and resources necessary to achieve their qualifications and learning goals. Welcome, Angelina.
Thank you, Marika.
Angelina, to start with, can you please describe the primary responsibilities of an REI New South Wales Learner Support Officer in assisting expats and trainees?
Absolutely. So just to sum it up, as a learner support officer, primary responsibilities include providing guidance and assistance to expats and trainees throughout their training. And it also involves helping them navigate the coursework and ensuring they meet their training milestones.
Fantastic. And what specific types of support do you provide to expats and trainees during their training and development process?
So we provide a variety of support services, and as Eva mentioned earlier, this actually can include one-on-one mentoring or help sessions with the trainer, monthly virtual classroom sessions. And we also provide recommendations to a variety of services and resources that are actually available for all learners. So an example of a service we regularly recommend is the mentoring program that the Australian Business Apprenticeship Centre offers for trainees. It's actually a really great service for our learners, and this mentoring program provides wonderful resources and tips for learners who are struggling to navigate the work, study, and personal life.
Oh, it's great that that sort of thing is available, Angelina. How does your support help expats and trainees overcome some of these challenges they may face in their coursework or workplace training?
So our support is tailored to address the specific challenges that expats and trainees face. So whether it's understanding complex concepts in their coursework or dealing with real-world scenarios in their workplace training. So we provide personalised recommendations, as I mentioned earlier, to resources that are available, additional learning materials, and also mediation meetings between the school, employer, guardian, and learner to implement strategies to manage their time effectively.
Fantastic. And what are some of the common concerns or issues that expats and trainees bring to you, and how do you address them?
So there is a variety of common concerns, and one of the biggest ones is actually balancing work and study. Another common concern is understanding real estate concepts and also managing workplace expectations. So we address these concerns by offering flexible study plans, providing clear explanations and examples, and also mediating discussions between employers and learners to ensure there's a supportive work environment for all.
Oh, that's wonderful, Angelina. I guess to end with, could you share an example of how your support has positively impacted the experience and outcome for an expat or trainee?
Absolutely. So we did have a trainee, actually an expat, that was struggling with time management and falling behind in the studies. So what we did was organise a regular one-on-one session, and we also, between the expat and the trainer, we also helped them develop a more effective study schedule. So this improved outcomes and also greater confidence in their role. Another example we had was a student who faced workplace challenges. We worked with the employer to create a more supportive training environment, resulting in a much more positive experience for the trainee and the employer.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's always nice to hear how something can be turned around with that support network and have a positive outcome for learners. So thank you very much for sharing that, Angelina.
Nice. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So our fifth and final speaker today is Jackie Smith. Jackie is a REIP officer and part of the team involved with Training Services New South Wales Regional Industry Education Partnerships Program in Western New South Wales. That's a bit of a mouthful. Jackie, welcome. Could you please provide us with a brief explanation of the REIP program and how you help connecting employers with secondary schools?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having us here. I am one of 4 REIP officers in Western New South Wales, and we support high schools across New South Wales to participate in career education activities and build partnerships with their local industries. Those activities provide opportunities for students to explore their career pathways, gain some skills in the workplace, and build networks with their local employers. So we're really happy to be supporting the Real Estate Institute in New South Wales and their local members, because we sort of believe these opportunities can open doors to potential careers in real estate, including the property management, sales, administration, and more. So we're here to help our school students, maybe connect them with their local real estate owners if they're interested in working in this industry, maybe initiate those initial work experience opportunities, so that they can see what it's really like, and then we're there to help and support them and connect all these dots that we've spoken about today.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Jackie. And look, thank you to all our presenters for sharing their insights today. We hope you found this session informative and now have more of an understanding of career opportunities in real estate and how the real estate industry, Department of Education, Training Services New South Wales, and registered training organisations like the REI New South Wales can work together to assist students interested in undertaking a traineeship while still at school or after completing their HSC. For those who did submit questions, thank you. We will distribute them, as I mentioned earlier, as well as providing a link to those that we will send out to you all this week. You'll also have an opportunity when we send out the recording of today's session to submit any questions you would like us to answer personally. That now concludes today's information session. We wish all students the best with their studies and future careers. Thank you very much for joining us.